If it's the working week, there are a couple of things you can guarantee. You'll probably get some sleep, have something to eat, and there'll be updates involving the Boeing 737 investigation, grounding, and much more. And today there are several updates that are worth covering, from the FAA to Alaska Airlines to now legal action, beginning with the FAA. Following a formal investigation being launched into Boeing and its production practices, the Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, has said it's widening these inspections. In a new statement, the FAA says that investigations into Boeing's manufacturing process and primarily production lines will now stretch to subcontractors. The predominant supplier at the front of the inspections is Spirit AeroSystems, responsible for a large portion of the makeup of the 737 aircraft. Ultimately, a broadening of focus follows what is labelled as a decisive action undertaken to ground 171 737-9s from the MAX series. The FAA hopes to get to the bottom of how quality escapes continue within Boeing, and obviously put a permanent stop to it. When contacting Spirit AeroSystems for comment on the ongoing investigation, they said Spirit AeroSystems has been working closely with our customers since the event with Alaska Airlines Flight 1282 on January 5. A Spirit team is now supporting the NTSB's investigation directly. As a company, we remain focused on the quality of each aircraft structure that leaves our facilities. These comments followed a previous statement by the supplier issued 2 days prior on January 8, where they said they were grateful to the crew aboard the Alaska flight, who ensured the plane's safe landing and those on board. Spirit said again their primary focus is on the quality of the product and structure they deliver while retaining integrity in their company. They additionally said they were committed to the 737 program as a key partner and will work closely with Boeing to get to the bottom of the quality lapses. There is just something I wanted to briefly mention, which is totally on me. I did make an error, and I believe it may have been yesterday or the day before that's video. It's been a little bit hard to keep track. I said that Boeing had increased quality inspections by 20% since 2019. What I should have said is Boeing has increased quality inspectors by 20%. That's totally on me, and I can only apologize for that. Back to the developments. While it was to be an aircraft from the 737 MAX that faced a significant decompression following the door blowing off, further problems have ultimately been identified. These incidents that we're seeing, this incident we saw take place and the subsequent problems don't relate to a design defect on that variant, but rather quality assurance troubles that are plaguing other aircraft as identified by airlines during preliminary inspections. Once made aware of this, the FAA said they would increase their focus on the practices undertaken by Boeing as they look towards understanding where these problems are being explicitly created. The FAA's administrator said that the events that transpired aboard the Alaska Airlines flight can be attributed to production-related issues. Meanwhile, Boeing's CEO Dave Calhoun, in an interview with CNBC, said they were quality escapes. On to the next story, a little bit of a quicker one here, but we have some legal action. A total of 4 passengers are now in the process of suing Alaska Airlines for the trauma they experienced aboard what was meant to be a routine flight. Intense fear, distress, anxiety, physical pain, and trauma are all the key points being mentioned following the incident that have impacted these passengers, and is it according to the complaint, the 4 passengers are residing in California and Washington. Legal action being taken for many would not come as a shock, expecting it always to come at some point, and it was more a matter of when rather than if. We'll see how that plays out and whether further legal action is launched into the proceedings of the incident and the subsequent impact on the customers involved. On to the final part of this update. Alaska Airlines says being proudly all Boeing is not just a tagline. The carrier says it's a commitment. This latest development comes following a public statement by the CEO where he addressed concerns surrounding the aircraft, safety, and provided updates on future outlook and much more. Alaska Airlines has said that technicians from the maintenance and engineering divisions have completed the required preliminary inspection on a group of 737-9s that are grounded. These inspections were stemmed on following requests from the FAA with data to be provided to Boeing. Once Boeing receives the data, it'll be analysed and the FAA will consult with them to build adequate steps to reapprove and enter the plane back into service. Alaska Airlines says it's now currently awaiting the next steps based on the information they have collected. The hope is that from this, final inspections will soon be able to take place. The FAA, however, despite this natural progression in the process, has no timeline for the return to service of the Boeing 737-9. The absolute priority is safety, which cannot be achieved by focusing on speed. The CEO of Alaska addressed the public in a video message, which aired across social media, including YouTube, in an unlisted video. In the video, the CEO spoke highly of the crew aboard the 737-9 who reacted quick enough to return the plane to Portland safely with no major injuries. The company once again reiterated that the safety of employees and guests aboard its aircraft is the priority, and they'll do everything in their power to keep it that way. Further updates were revealed as part of a direct response to the grounding. The company once more confirmed to us that it has been cancelling between 110 to 150 flights per day, as the 737-9 accounts for roughly 20% of its currently active fleet. While this naturally does impact its operations, safety is the number one priority, and wherever possible, the company has been looking to transfer impacted passengers onto other aircraft and flights. The plane will remain grounded for as long as required, until only it meets the relevant high standards that you'd argue it should have initially complied with. Inspections have also occurred across the past week. The CEO said the maintenance and engineering professionals are moving forward with their strong experience and a microscope to comb through the planes. During a statement, the CEO said it had flown Boeing aircraft since 1966, and thus it's built a strong partnership with the plane maker. This relationship, Alaska Airlines says, is based on transparency, accountability, and other important factors. Alaska says it will work closely with Boeing to uphold the highest quality and safety standards for aircraft delivered. They also previously announced that they would inspect Boeing's production practices to get to the bottom of the continued quality escapes. Some analysts applauded this work by Alaska to further understand just how their aircraft are being produced, while at the same time criticizing Boeing for needing an airline to step in, so much so to take a look at the practices undertaken to ensure nothing slips through. Proudly all Boeing is what the CEO described as not just a tagline, but rather a commitment. This commitment was heightened when Alaska Airlines, as we know, said goodbye to all Airbus-produced aircraft acquired through a Virgin America merger only last year. You can make of that what you will down below in the comments, but I'd love to hear your take, whether it is on the legal action, the FAA increasing its inspections towards key suppliers, or maybe further updates on Alaska Airlines. Thank you very much for your support here on the channel. It really does mean a lot. Take care, be safe, and I will indeed see you next time for more coverage on the aviation industry and potentially further updates surrounding Boeing.